More recently, I'm known as the host of the Missing Australia podcast. Missing persons cases is something I've always been passionate about because I've seen firsthand the trauma and the anguish that families go through. To come to Australia was an adventure. That's what Peter and Joanne were on. They were an adventure.
I just thought, I'll just go to Australia and see what this is about. It was better than I ever dreamed it would be.
But sadly, they came in contact with a monster.
The two extremes of worlds collided together, catastrophically collided together. The biggest manhunt in Northern Territory history has so far failed to find the gunman who shot Peter Falconio. In Britain, the attack was making headlines.
Major manhunt after British couple's ambush in the outback.
Missing out for the worst and have called in Aboriginal trackers to search the vast area between Darwin and Alice Springs where the attack took place.
Mr. Falconio's body has never been found. The killer is still on the run.
We haven't captured him. He's still out there. Who are we doing?
On August
I never thought she
2002,
They tried to put
Northern
that narrative
Territory
out there.
finally got their breakthrough.
You know, a lot of
Over
people
1,500
say
kilometres
things,
away
but no, I never
in
thought
South
she did.
Australia.
Police describing a 44-year-old man as a
The
person
guy
of
that did
interest.
it, he's died. He never told
Bradley
me where
John
the body
Murdoch
was.
was brought to
Ah,
the
so
Adelaide
that's
under heavy
I'm
guard.
pretty sure he's
Charges of
died.
abducting and raping a woman and her 12-year-old daughter. But it's his DNA that could also hold the key to the suspected murder of Peter Falconio 13 months ago.
Northern Territory Police were able to match Murdoch's DNA sample with blood found on Joanne Lee's shirt. But with Murdoch on trial in South
Some people,
Australia,
they use the
it was
acid
another
to melt
15
the
months
body and
before
then
the
just do
evidence
something else to the
Like, it
body.
could be gone. Wolves and all that, they could have been like this a
Murdoch
long
was
time
acquitted
ago.
of the charges in South Australia.
And the bones would
As
still
he
be
left
there,
court, he was immediately rearrested for the Falconio murder. At the Falconio trial, the DNA evidence proved key. It took a jury just 8 hours to find Murdoch guilty of Peter's murder and the deprivation of liberty and aggravated assault of Joanne Lees. After the verdict, he was immediately sentenced to life in jail, but even now, there's one secret he's not giving up. Just where is Peter Falconio's body?
I would like Bradley John Murdoch to seriously consider telling me, Jonah Luciano and Pete's brothers, what he has done with Pete.
The most important thing tonight going out is to find Peter's body.
I didn't realise that I may never find him.
Even after 16 years, Joanne was still searching for Peter.
It may seem as an impossible task, but at least I've tried.
Is that the white girlfriend?
Yeah.
The last hope was the one person who knew the answer.
Breaking news, notorious backpacker killer Bradley John Murdoch has died. He was serving a life sentence for the murder of Peter Falconio 24 years ago.
Murdoch's death from throat cancer means Peter's family may never know where his body was buried.
So why they put me in jail? Just other person.
Yeah.
Hey, hello.
My contribution will be to get inside the mind of the offender. When I look at that, I see some weakness masquerading as strength. He's a big man who's trying to make himself look even bigger and meaner.
Maybe he eats me.
Based on my experience in profiling and looking at similar types of cases, there are some patterns that we can observe that Bradley Murdoch exhibited throughout his offending lifetime. We know that he's been involved in criminal behavior for many, many years. homicide conviction, firearms offenses where he fired into a group of Aboriginal people. And he ended up being convicted and spent some time in jail. We also have the case in South Australia of the mother and her 12-year-old daughter. Although Bradley Murdoch was acquitted on all counts, the mother and daughter both described handcuffs, and they provided a description that was familiar to investigators. We saw them in the Peter Falcone murder,
Guys like
Joanne Lee's abduction.
So, Kathy, with the restraints, what are your thoughts, initial thoughts on that? Because for me, and I'm really interested in your behavioural views, the preparation of these, because they almost seem unnecessary.
They're extreme in a way. I've seen a lot of handcuffs in my work, and I've never seen handcuffs constructed like this. It's not necessary to have all of this tape and 3 sets of cable ties. So what does this say about Murdoch? I think it really is
Hey
reflective
guys, like
of
and
his
subscribe.
sexual
Welcome. Hello.
The behavioral indicators of Bradley Murdoch
Hello.
made me believe that this was a sexually motivated attack. He could have killed Joanne right off, but that would not serve his purpose because his ultimate purpose is to rape her. What could prevent
Thank
that
you
from
so
happening?
much. Thank
Peter, so I
you.
need to eliminate Peter as soon as I can.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then we see how he behaves with her. His first move is to handcuff her, and then tries to tape her legs, and then tries to tape her mouth. So all these are indicators that he wanted to have ultimate control over her in a sexual way. This is what we would consider ritualistic behavior. So
Thank
these are behaviors
you.
that are not necessary to actually complete the
It's
crime.
my
but they're
destiny.
necessary for
Welcome
the
to my
defendant in
life.
order
Please
to
subscribe
to
if you need
satisfy
video.
some kind of fantasy that this individual has. Duct tape is a fantastic medium for collecting DNA, hair, fibers, skin cells. And Murdoch's DNA was ultimately found on these handcuffs. That speaks to his
Hello,
desire-driven
Winnie.
behavior
Missy,
rather than
hello.
thought-driven behavior, right? So this is someone who's not forensically conscious, right?
And they're constructed, prior to him travelling, they're constructed, one would think, in his workshop at home. And so there's that preparatory action to take with him in the hope that that might.
It speaks to his predatory.
Yes.
This is somebody who's constantly on the hunt for a vulnerable victim. I'm sure he had a plan of abducting her, killing Peter, assaulting her, murdering her, then disposing of her body and Peter's body.
And that's what's so exceptional, that somehow Joanne managed to just get away. You really should have felt like she should be dead now.
But for Joanne, surviving one nightmare wasn't the end. She was suddenly thrust into another.
Around the 2000s, I was working for a nightly current affairs show. My role was to get up to Alice Springs, quick start, to try and get an interview with Joanne Legs. It was a frenzy. But it wasn't just the media from Australia. I mean, obviously, she's English, so they all came from overseas. It was crazy.
Overseas, she was attacked 11 days ago. Joanne Lees has declined media requests to talk about her ordeal. Today, without any breakthrough, she chose to speak publicly in the hope of fresh information.
I'm feeling positive and strong and believe it's only a matter of time now before the man responsible for what has happened to Pete and myself is caught.
I remember being up there when she did her first press conference, and all the media were talking about, oh, she's not showing emotion. And then suddenly, the media turned on Joanne. She's gone from being a victim who barely escaped with her life to being a suspect. You know, and even the police didn't know.
Sarah, you really are scaring me. You think I did this, don't you?
But you
Some
believe me
people
when
are
you
just emotionally
right
strong.
after can, we didn't know.
I said some people are just
telling you,
emotionally
it's not a matter of
strong.
us believing or
I know it's
it's
not.
It's a matter of us finding out what happened.
I never thought she did it.
Okay, well,
Like,
it's
her
not-
behaviour made people think that,
Yeah,
but maybe it was just the way, like,
Which is
she thinks all
inconsistent
big on
with
the
yours.
hill,
yeah.
but it was her
There
way
was
of
full
coping.
inconsistencies in the story. I really jumps on.
Everyone copes different, I suppose.
Reporters and police found her story literally incredible. Her account of how she freed herself from their attacker and spent 5 hours hiding in the bush before attracting help.
Everywhere Joanne goes, there's like a flock of seagulls waiting. Yes.
But if the attacker was having a gun,
I'd
how did
say
she
that
escape?
the reason why
Yeah, but he
I'm
obviously
here
didn't
is,
she wasn't
has got a
securing
lot to do with
handcuffs, she
the
must have
death
got out
of
somehow,
Bradley
they're
Murdoch.
fighting for your
The
life,
love
it's
feels a bit
amazing
so
probably
tender
the
that he's
adrenaline you
Oh,
have.
I thought he got them in the car.
Gone somewhere
Oh,
else.
it was at
but
their
then
house.
he put
So,
her, he tied her up
If this
with
was the
the
25-year anniversary and he
handmade
was
cuffs,
still
while
alive,
he dealt
I
with
wouldn't be
Peter
sitting here.
Funkoli or whatever his name is, and that's
Libby
how she got
became
away.
Joanne's official police chaperone. She had qualified from probationary training just 9 days before.
my job was to get Jo safely from the hotel to the station in a state where she was actually going to be able to participate. We'd have to go through the kitchen downstairs so that we weren't going through the reception area so that nobody saw her.
Almost a month later, with the gunman still on the loose, Joanne appeared at a second press conference. This time, she chose not to speak.
That day that she participated in that media conference was horrendous. They were going to criticise the hair, the shirt was too tight, she doesn't look like a victim, she doesn't sound like a victim, she's not behaving like a victim.
Joanne Lees was treated appalling. To get the best story, that blind determination, I think it caused her to treat Joanne, grossly unfair.
Stories that were out in the public that quoted Joanne when they hadn't even spoken to her. Like a direct quote that is an actual, just straight out lie. I can tell you now, those people hadn't spoken to her because they weren't with us. I was actually just shocked at the way that human beings could be so in the face to someone that was in a state that she was in. I could see that she was not sleeping, she was not eating. I'd say the only thing that I saw her trying to do was breathe. And I'd say sometimes breathing was not easy. And she really needed him.
I think the story of Peter D'Arcagnan, the son, the brother, the love partner, was somehow lost in this whole incident.
I loved it so much that I want to bring him home, and that I need to be.
Somewhere out in the vast expanse of the Australian desert lies the answer. And Joanne and Peter's families waited a quarter of a century to hear it.
Our mission is always to return that loved one to their family. That's the mission, always, and that's the only focus that we have.
We need to get into the mind of the offender.
To begin to unravel where Peter is buried, Mark and Kathy are going to retrace the crime from Murdoch's perspective, using a replica of his vehicle and of Peter and Joanne's combi van. They'll travel from Alice Springs up the Stewart Highway to the attack site, 10 kilometers north
So you
of a
followed
remote
them.
settlement
He attacked them in the car.
Yeah, I think he followed them for a bit. Then he flashed his lights to say something was wrong with him.
Crime
And I think
started
that's
in
why they
Alice
pulled
Springs,
over.
probably at the Red Rooster restaurant. We know through receipts and testimony that they were both in and around the Red Rooster at the same time. Murdoch sees Joanne here, and she's a strikingly beautiful woman. Basically, he becomes obsessed and he knows he has to have her. Bradley Murdoch follows Peter and Joanne from Alice Springs. He saw Joanne at an opportunistic time and then knew, I'm going to attack these people at a time when they're going to be very, very vulnerable.
What's your thoughts on his thinking at this time?
He's feeling in total control.
And of course, he can hang back, he doesn't have to be right on them, there's only one road.
Right.
Despite the huge distances, Murdoch knows this road like the back of his hand. He is a drug runner, transporting drugs from Adelaide up the Stuart Highway and then across the Tanami Desert to Broome. He'd also been a truck driver, using the stretch of the Stuart Highway to and from Darwin.
This is the backyard.
He doesn't know this environment. He knows if he should attack someone, the most optimal location and the most optimal time to do this as well.
He's starting to plan where he's going to attack.
And wait until the optimum moment, which I believe for him will be darkness.
That's right.
Just before sunset, Peter and Joanne arrived at the Tea Tree Roadhouse. A fuel receipt places them there at 6:22 p.m.
Tea Tree holds really beautiful memories. We stopped here and we took in this landscape, the big skies, we stopped and watched the sunset. We thought we had the rest of our lives together. We had the freedom of the road, we were self-sufficient in our combi, we just were young and carefree. We had no idea what was going to happen. When you just take in this magnificent sunset, you can kind of put yourself in their shoes and what they were feeling. They had been in Australia for many months by then, but they're traveling through the outback, where they've never been before, and they're experiencing that like I have for the first time, and it's pretty special.
But as we know, there's a darkness about to envelop them as well.
Right.
And that's where Bradley has, Murdoch's been following them and they've not been aware of this.
Exactly right. And it's really interesting, we have a witness statement from someone who was in the parking area.
I saw a white ute pull into a truck parking bay. I didn't hear the ute pull into the parking bay. It's like it coasted into the parking bay. It moved slowly and just slowed to a stop, like the engine wasn't running and the brakes weren't used to stop.
Very interesting. There's no need for him to be that close.
Well, that is surveilling behaviour, isn't it?
Absolutely right, yeah. And you can kind of get a sense of what he's feeling now. He's locked on his eyes on them and Alex, and then has followed them to the tea tree.